Yo, welcome back to another video. Today I wanted to make another one for good time's sake again. Kinda sucks when your life depends on a full-time job and it eats up a lot of your free time, but I guess that's just a part of surviving in the system. I'm not really going to get into all of that in this video though. I want to make this video about all of the charges that I've ever gotten. To put it in specifics, I've had 10 different charges since the age of 16. I've been arrested twice. I've never been charged with a felony, thank God, but I've gotten 5 petty misdemeanors, 4 regular misdemeanors, and 1 gross misdemeanor. That's like 2 years maximum of prison time, but there's levels to it all. In Minnesota, petty misdemeanors you can't really go to jail for. Regular misdemeanors can get you locked up for up to 90 days. Gross misdemeanors are up to 1 year, and felonies are over a year. Typically, if you get sentenced to less than 1 year and 1 day incarcerated, you wouldn't go to prison. You would have to sit in a county jail. I'm also not a violent person at all, man. I mean, I don't ever choose to start shit. People just like to find reasons to fuck with me and get upset over it, and this is literally why I had to cut ties with my loved ones. This doesn't even apply to me being charged either. This can apply to y'all. Anybody can backstab you over anything, bro. 2 motherfucking keywords. Anybody, anything. Endless possibilities type shit, you know? Before we get into this video, make sure to give this video a like, subscribe if you're new to my content, share this video to anybody that's ever been charged before, and let's play my criminal history. So, my first ever charge was truancy. Technically, this and the next charge I'll talk about after this one are the only 2 charges that I didn't have to go to court for, and this is the one charge that I didn't get a printed citation from an officer. My mom actually had to go to court instead of myself for whatever reason, but she was pissed. Not utterly, but I still got grounded. But yeah, young kid here was skipping school back in the middle of 2018 and getting caught lacking for it. I was really close to getting on probation though. They told me if I skipped another hour, stay in school, yo. I actually know people that got locked up in juvenile detention centers for skipping school too much. My second charge, there's a video of me talking about this charge. It's actually called my first charge because the truancy shit was barely even a charge, so I didn't even consider it at the time. I posted that video a couple years ago, but to defeat the purpose of watching that, I got a weed charge. It was possession of small amounts of marijuana, less than 1 point something grams on the ticket or something. I got it in early 2019 when I was still 16, plus it was a petty misdemeanor, so I ended up just having to go to this drug class in the summer where they pretty much had you watch a video and do a group seminar about how drugs are bad. I just bullshitted my way through it. My parents, on the other hand, they basically thought I was smoking in the house the day I got charged because I had a roach of some exotic and it stank up the garage in the house. This situation played out pretty similar compared to a lot of the other times, considering that it almost always gets to the point where cops get called after at least a round of violence occurs. It was the first time that day that my stepdad ever laid hands on me too. But if someone could tell me how getting beat up by your parents over weed, walking to the neighbor's house asking for help just to have an officer talk to your parents and walk back to you with a printed out citation for weed possession with your name makes any sense, even though I'm sure it doesn't, I'd like to see some true colors. Like, what the fuck? The third charge I've ever gotten was a drinking charge, consumption under 21, which is a misdemeanor. Back in the summer of 2019, my mom took a lot of my shit, threw it all away, lied to me about it, and waited a month until I would have a mental breakdown to get the cops involved and have them arrest me because I left a bike she paid for my stepdad to use at a friend's house after throwing up food that turned out to be rotten already and that I could barely fucking move, let alone bike 3 miles back home. Oh, yeah, and for the simple fact that I smoked weed, too. She threw away my computers, my lamp, equipment I had for making YouTube videos, a TV, cart batteries, and a bunch of other shit. That lamp, too, is what kept me from using the light switch that's placed on the damn near the other side of a living room from my bedroom door when I needed to. It was really annoying having to sleep in the dark, especially after my shit was taken and my phone broke. Before I got arrested and had that breakdown, though, I had downed a couple beers and got pretty sauced from it. My tolerance for alcohol has been low for a long time. My mom and I then got into another argument about my stuff. She was lying to me about giving me any of it back the entire time, and there was just something I read about her and what she said that had me smashing a beer bottle in front of her windshield. It all gets hazier as time goes on. I walked away after that happened. Cops found me later. I didn't get charged for the damage to her car, but I did get charged with underage drinking. First time being breathalyzed, by the way. I think I blew like .05 or some shit. I was also taken to a hospital for a psychological evaluation because they thought I had some sort of mental issue that just got me causing ruckus in the family for no reason whatsoever. It's so ridiculous how many people that have been fooled and how many years it's been going on for. If only I had that kind of consistency with anybody in a good way. I was also issued a court date for October 2019 for that underage drinking charge, but I ended up getting arrested on a couple other charges like a couple of weeks afterwards. It's moments like that though where I appreciated being a legal child. Like, I would have been looking at 90 days and some more shit if I was any older than that. The fourth charge is one of the charges that I got that had me arrested in my underage drinking charge rescheduled. It was an assault and a gross misdemeanor. The fifth one is the other, damage to property in the fourth degree, another misdemeanor. This basically happened because I had a mental breakdown over basically all of my shit just being gone out of nowhere, and it turned into a physical fight with my mom after she saw that I was breaking shit. She even ripped out some of her hair and lied to the cops after she called them saying that I was trying to kill her or whatever. I can't really sit here and act like I never fucked up or did anything wrong, but fuck, man. I was a child. I'm not supposed to be any more perfect than my mom. I mean, here she is telling the cops that I'm trying to kill her. I went to court on like 3 different charges after I already spent a day in juvenile detention. The damage to property charge was $3 from being a felony too, because you only need to damage $500 worth of stuff to get a 3rd degree felony. My shit came out to $497. Talk about deep shit. I pleaded guilty to everything except the assault charge because I got drunk, I broke a bunch of shit out of anger, and I didn't assault her in the way they portrayed it to be at all. But they sent me back to juvenile detention for a couple of days just to come back and be told to take a plea deal to have the damage to property and underage drinking charges dropped and do 6 months probation for the assault. Me looking at that versus potentially losing a case against 3 charges and shit locked up for probably another 3 months or so, I took the fucking plea deal. Of course, they let me out the day I did that too. I took my longest tolerance break as of when I uploaded this video, which is only 28 days. I got pitch tested twice, once in juvie and the other a couple of weeks after that. I did start smoking again on some risky shit, but they never drug tested me again. I got off probation in February 2020. So my 6th and 7th charges are parking violations, which of course are petty misdemeanors. I got a video called I lost my car after a tire explosion or something like that. I basically explained the whole story of how it happened, and I didn't mention any repercussions that I would end up facing afterwards. My tire was randomly flat. I tried to move the car and replace the tire. The jack broke, the tire fell off, and the car was stuck. It was pretty bogus how I had quote-unquote friends too talking shit about me and my situation, think that I just let shit like this happen to me for some odd reason. I don't know, man. They were all smoking dick though. After I got the car and had it up to when it got impounded, the title was never transferred to me. I was making monthly payments to a friend for the car, and we believed that it would be smarter to do so at the time considering my situation. But after the car was sitting at the impound lot for like 3 months and it eventually got released and destroyed, my friend was telling me that he had to pay a ridiculous amount of money just for the car sitting there, and that's not including the citations themselves. He also told me that he was pissed, but he really only took that L for me for the simple fact that I was going through way too much fuck shit to even believe that I would even come up and keep up with paying thousands of dollars back in 2019. And that was way before I got locked up for the second time and was homeless again for good. However, he did prove to the state that I signed a piece of paper stating that I would be making those payments for that car and I had some sort of ownership for it. So I got something in the mail last month saying that I owe like a couple $100 or it would go to collections. I never paid it off and I haven't heard shit from them since. Wouldn't be surprised if it bit me in the ass again. My 9th charge is speeding, another petty misdemeanor. I was going 84 into 65 before I noticed a cop car chilling under the bridge on the side of the freeway. I slammed on my brakes. He still pulled me over and caught me going 79, but he brought it down to a 70 because he saw a DoorDash bag in the passenger seat and I had never gotten a speeding ticket before. Low-key, I wish I could have taken this to court and gotten it removed from my record right then and there, but thanks to COVID, you can't go to court for petty misdemeanors anymore. You have to pay the ticket or you're fucked. I had to borrow money from a friend to pay it off too, and I forgot to pay her back for like 9 months. I don't even have an excuse for that. Life just fucking sucks. If there was some sort of technique to be in a life where you do have to do the most and not freak out internally about how anything plays out, I'd love to hear it. Shit, feel free to comment below and spread some knowledge, man. The last couple of charges that I got was domestic assault and disorderly conduct, both of which were misdemeanors. I got another video about those charges as well, and it's pretty lengthy. It's like 16 to 17 minutes long. To be honest, I don't really want to re-explain what went down in this video because it was pretty fucked up, and quite honestly, I'm not really trying to keep talking about my parents in my videos anymore. I only really brought them up in the first place and stories or just shit to talk about, so I can do that as a coping mechanism while I was actually going through it. Anyways, I was locked up for 80 hours. I had a no contact order against my house. I was homeless until a roommate brought me out of town with him, and I ended up having to take another stupid plea deal where the domestic assault charge would be dropped, and I would be looking at a year to a year and a half probation versus, actually risking my freedom to be able to pay rent and keep a job. I'd still be risking it, moving out with the money that I may or may not be able to save after the apartment lease is over too, because I can get charged now and I can get charged in 2023, and I'd end up violating my probation, go back to jail for 90 days and some more shit, and sit on probation for even longer than I was already sentenced to. I've already had a couple close calls within the past fucking month, man. But I'm gonna keep working this heavy job, smoke weed, and keep making YouTube videos at home because that's legal. Well, this should conclude my criminal history. I feel like it's pretty lengthy for a guy like me, considering that I don't ever really go out of my way to make somebody else's life more difficult or anything like that. I'm just a calm and collective person. I do have friends who have far worse charges though. I know people who are felons just because of drugs and fights, man. It's a cold, pointless war out there. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please give this video a like. If you're new to my content, please subscribe. Follow me on all of my social media. The links will be in the description below. Share this video to anybody who's ever been charged before, and I'll plan on making another video next Sunday. Peace out. Sauce.